Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the second edition of my conspiracy series. We will again be taking a closer look at several strange disappearances happening around the United States, perhaps even a case or two from other countries. I started slow with the first video. I didn't want to scare anybody off. This time, however, we're looking at some seriously strange instances. All of them were recorded officially, though this time I may bring up a bit of theory and speculation towards the end. August 25th, 1898, Wisconsin. 3-year-old Alice Rachel Peck had wandered off from her home in an effort to follow her mother, who was out picking berries not far away. She got lost. For some reason, the presence of berries is a commonality in several of these cases. I'm not sure if it's relevant or not, but we'll discuss this more shortly. A massive 3-day search was undertaken to find the missing toddler with no success. Not a trace of her was found until, 5 miles away from her home, she turned up. She was staring blankly ahead as if in some sort of trance. When she came to her senses, she recalled wandering around the deserted road barefoot. She was wearing shoes when she disappeared, which brings up a big commonality. Many of these people, when they're found, are not wearing shoes, be they alive or deceased. The terrain between where she was found was full of steep drops and large boulders, terrain that would be impossible for a 3-year-old to traverse, especially without shoes. When asked how she reached this area, she simply said, "The black man helped me." According to the girl, a man had picked her up and guided her along the path that led away from her home. Who was this man? What could have happened to the little girl if she had not been found? I guess we'll never know. September 22nd, 2012. 53-year-old Linda Arteaga was hiking along with her 56-year-old brother, Eddie Huff, in the forests of the Ozarks, near the town of St. Joe in Arkansas. Her brother had seen her off safely at a relative's home, but in reality the woman was nowhere to be found. A search party was organized, and thankfully she was found the same day, albeit in a severely distressed condition. She claimed that she had thought that her brother had been injured and she was trying to get help. She'd come across other hikers, but they would behave as if they could not see her or hear her, no matter how loudly she spoke to them. Things actually get stranger from here. She claimed that she also saw several strange shadowy people that were hiding from her in the bushes. When she tried to approach them, they'd shy away, further back into the foliage. When asked to describe these people, she just said they were very, very weird. No details were involved. The searcher who found her said that she wasn't completely right in the head when he came upon her. Not that I blame her. I mean, it's surmised that she ingested hallucinogenic berries and imagined the whole thing. A fine theory, but it doesn't explain how her brother, who was not seeing things, said he dropped her off at a relative's, only to have her reappear where they had been hiking. July 1955. 2-year-old Ida Mae Curtis went missing from a lumber camp in Kootenai National Forest in Montana. The girl's mother reported her missing and that she had seen the girl being cradled in the arms of a large bear and was carried off in the forest. 250 men were assembled to search for the girl, and for 2 days there was no trace to be found. The parents were certain the bear had taken and devoured her. That is, until she showed up in a crude shelter 300 yards away from the spot where she disappeared from. She greeted her father with a chipper, "Hi, Daddy," and the darkest fears her parents were suffering abated. Her story was odd, though. Apparently, the bear that had carried her off had cuddled her and gave her berries, keeping her fed and warm during the night. I don't know about you, but I'd call that strange behavior for a bear. Also, again with the berries, something that's been popping up in all 3 cases so far, along with mysterious dark figures. Here I have a strange case that has incomplete information, and I wanted to bring it up because it seems to shed a bit more light on these disappearances. Sometime in the 1950s in France, A woman claimed that she had been walking along a river when some inexplicable force had forcibly grabbed her from behind and dragged her into the brush. She claimed that the weather suddenly shifted from clear to stormy, and she heard a voice above her say, "Here you go," as if she were being offered from one person to another. She suddenly felt herself drop to the ground, and she scrambled away in a panic. She sought shelter in a nearby farm, where she noticed a large red handprint raised on her chest. I bring this case up for two reasons. It reminded me of the voicemail left in the Henry McCabe case in my last video, where Henry was wailing animalistically and a voice suddenly said, "Stop it," before the phone went dead. When you start looking at these cases as a whole, you may find yourself coming to chilling realizations. You see, in every culture of the world there are legends as old as time itself. Legends about creatures and spirits in the wild that will lure you away from the safety of the camp. Many American Indians will tell you never, ever walk away from the light of the fire. This may seem like common sense, but what if there are other, more tangible reasons to stay near the fire? The Wendigo is a creature symbolizing the frozen north, starvation and cannibalism. It was said to be created when a human resorted to cannibalism, and preying on humans, some legend says it would fly down and rip a person right out of their shoes. Winter storms? Missing shoes? In Philippine mythology, there's a creature called the Tiyanak. It lures people by mimicking a baby crying, something that few humans could actually ignore. Supposedly, one of the only ways to escape a Tiyanak is to take off your clothes and turn them inside out. Again, a reference to missing clothes. It's interesting. In South America, there's the Parasola, a monster that lures people by taking the form of a beautiful woman or a loved one. She's also known for her ability to confuse and evade dogs. Does that sound familiar? On an island called Sulawesi in Indonesia, the natives there won't venture into the jungle in any color other than black or white. It's a strict taboo. They say that those that wear bright colors will go missing. Most of Iceland believe that elves live in the boulders there. There are laws on their books that prevent boulders from being demolished for fear of upsetting their fairy inhabitants. Ireland has leprechauns. The Middle East have jinn. Christianity has demons. I've spent a lot of time in the deep woods, and I love hiking, hunting, and fishing. I've had moments where things have felt off. You see, most people think that the heart of the forest is quiet and peaceful. Nothing could be further from the truth. The wind howls in the trees. Insects and animals scurry in the foliage, and birds sing in the trees. When everything goes silent, it really freaks you out. I'm lucky that I've always returned from my solitary trips from the wild. I won't do it anymore, though. I've had moments where I've felt that I was in danger, that I've had something watching me, that I felt something on the, making the hairs on the back of my neck rise up. What I'm suggesting is the following. What if there is a super predator out there, as old as mankind? I read a post from a Reddit user that summed it up best. If you ever take word of caution, take this like your life depends on it. Don't go in the wild alone. Don't stray from your camp at night. Don't answer or seek out anything that calls out mysteriously in the night. Do not believe everything you see with your own eyes. I need to repeat that like your life depends on it. Do not believe things, especially out-of-place people, voices, or suspicious things that you see, even with your own eyes, especially when your gut and instincts are warning you. There's something out there, something that scares grown men, even like me, something we won't talk about, but it's real. It has no consistent form, and it lures you. If you're a wild thing and a hunter of human beings, there's no better hunting ground than our busiest national parks and state parks. if you're a hunter of opportunity, there's no better prey than the young, the weak, the old, the alone. There's something out there so old, so skilled, so clever and cunning, not just a being but a species that has or have developed a specialized survival skill, luring and preying on lost or solitary humans. Can a predator in the natural world lure, trap, summon, or even hypnotize their prey? A quick Google search will yield you hundreds of examples of such species in the animal, fish, bird, and insect kingdoms. What I submit: what if such a species as old as man, whose success depends on the successful hunting of humans, exists? Not only would it have to be very clever and good at it by now, but we'd have no record or memory of it in our history, just as no insect probably has ever survived an encounter with a trapdoor spider to tell the tale. I submit their hunting approach is case by case. Their lure is different depending on their human prey's age, strength, and size. But what I submit is that our oldest natural predator, an undiscovered predator, is still operating due to its skill of being able to read us like a book, hit us undetected, hit us with a lure, lead us into a trap to never be seen and heard from again. And with that, dear watchers, I will bid you a good night. Consider hitting the like button and subscribe to my channel. Share this video on Twitter. If you're feeling especially generous, donate to my Patreon so I can continue to provide you with hopefully ever-improving content. I wish you all the best. May you check out the next episode. We'll be taking a look at possible video sightings of this super predator. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Good night.